This week on Hoosier News Source, Hoosiers mourn for 3 lives. We've got details on the car accident that killed an IU student and her mother, and how the School of Music remembers professor and singing Hoosiers director Steve Segree.
And a thief enters Ivy Tech's Art Center. Molly Jurasek tells us what the man took and why some students are confused by it.
Plus, we've got a sneak peek at an H&S documentary special. Grayson Harbor joins us in studio with an inside look at marijuana use on campus and how police handle the issue. Hi, thanks for joining us this week on Hoosier News Source. I'm Ruben Solis.
And I'm Meredith Seaman. The Boone County Sheriff's Reconstruction Unit in Kentucky is investigating the 2-car collision that killed IU freshman Amanda Ludwig and her mother, Elaine Ludwig, last Saturday.
According to their press release, the collision happened on I-275 at about 11:40 a.m. while Amanda and her mother were traveling in a Pontiac Grand Prix. The Pontiac came to a stop in the right lane. A following semi-driver swerved to avoid the collision, but another semi behind it was unable to stop and ran into the rear of the Pontiac. According to the release, the impact caused the car to burst into flames, killing the driver and the passenger. The semi-driver was reportedly not injured. Amanda was 18 and her mother, Elaine, was 59. And the Jacobs School of Music is mourning the loss of professor and vocal jazz director Steve Segree. In a press release, colleagues of the School of Music professor call him a mentor to so many in his field. Segree was known for directing the Singing Hoosiers as well as the vocal jazz ensemble. The Jacobs School of Music created a memorial block for Segree. You can visit that online. According to the release, Segree died in Bloomington on Saturday. No word yet on the cause of death. He was 61.
A new and improved policy regarding sexual misconduct took effect on March 1st. The policy prohibits all forms of gender and sex-based discrimination, as well as all forms of sexual harassment. The updated sexual misconduct policy comes after months of research and campus initiatives to make students more aware of how to handle sexual assault situations. The policy also clarifies that consent is expressed through affirmative and voluntary words or actions. Well, IU Provost Lauren Rebell delivered the State of the University address last Tuesday. Rebell used the speech to outline the bicentennial strategic plan for Indiana University Bloomington. The plan sets out goals for the university to achieve before the year 2020, mainly focused in academic progress. She noted the new media school and the School of Global and International Studies as 2 examples. You can find the full bicentennial plan at the website on your screen.
Recovering personal possessions after a robbery can be really tough, especially if it's something handmade. And that's what Bloomington South students say they're experiencing after their artwork was stolen last week. Here's H&S reporter Molly Jurasek.
I put a lot of thought behind it. Yeah, I probably spent about maybe 2 weeks just drawing it.
Emily Skirvin is a senior stained glass student at Bloomington South High School. She just finished this stained glass lampshade as a gift for her father. But now it's gone. Someone stole it.
I guess kind of disappointed was the main reaction that I had.
Her lampshade was on display at Ivy Tech's John Waldron Arts Center, where it was taken March 1st.
The perpetrator came in through our ceramics studio over here.
Paul Daly, the artistic director at the gallery, says the suspect took 7 pieces of 3D artwork. Take a look. This surveillance photo shows what he looks like. Bloomington police describe the suspect as a thin white male in his mid-20s with dark hair and a beard.
I think actually this is a real testament to the artwork that was done, that somebody would think it was valuable enough to take.
All the students involved say they just want their artwork back and have their own reactions too.
Just really amused because it's like a little bit of disbelief that like I feel like there's like better stuff to steal than like high schoolers like art projects.
Why did you take student artwork? It's not worth anything but our sentimental value.
There's a lot better ways to get easy money than to steal people's artwork. I feel like that's kind of horrible.
In Bloomington, Molly Jurasek, Hoosier News Source.
We contacted Bloomington police with no updates yet on where the items could be or the suspect. For full descriptions of the missing artwork, visit this story on iustv.com.
2 weeks ago, we told you about Indiana being the #3 advocate for 911 texting, with all but 4 counties signing on to provide the service. H&S reporter Elizabeth Pace spoke to IU officials about the 911 texting service and tells us why they say the service benefits all.
This is what a 911 operator would hear on the line if a deaf person called for emergency help. Over the past 30 years, the deaf culture has become more acknowledged in the predominantly hearing world. But some important resources still haven't been made easy for deaf people. However, a new cell phone advancement could change that. The state of Indiana is in the process to make 911 texting available in all counties, meaning that any person with a cell phone could contact emergency help just by texting 911. For deaf people, this could mean quicker access in emergency situations.
I know that people that are deaf tend, to have issues connected with how to actually contact emergency help in an emergency situation.
The internet is a common resource used by deaf people to reach emergency help, but Rob and Amy said that 911 texting would widen those resources.
Really, texting, that is a big deal. That would be a major step forward because people and hearing, deaf hearing the phone, it becomes a part of your body. We depend on our phones as equally as much as hearing people do. And the ability to text is great.
Video phones through internet connection is typically what deaf people use for emergency situations. But if there's no internet connection or an accident happened on the road, there is little to zero resources available for deaf people.
If I right now tried to just do 911, could I text?
Not yet in the state of Indiana. Out of 92 counties, Lake, Jasper, Marion, and Ripley counties still need to approve the system for the state to have full access. For Hoosier News Source, I'm Elizabeth Pace.
While 15 other states have some counties that allow 911 texting, Vermont and Maine are the only two states that have fully approved the system. Still ahead on Hoosier News Source, while many students get ready to travel for spring break, others not traveling must still pack their bags and leave their dorm. Maddie Stevens has student reaction.
But first, IUSTV's Grayson Harbor joins us in studio with a sneak peek on how police bust marijuana use on campus in an H&S documentary special. Keep it here. Marijuana use is among the most reported crimes on campus, but what actually happens when you get busted? IUSTV's Grayson Harbor joins us in studio with more. Grayson.
This past fall, I spent the semester documenting IU police enforce marijuana laws on campus and students facing the consequences.
Yes.
IU police. Open the door. Hey, how you guys doing? Good. Whose room is this? This is mine. Alright, you guys want to come out and talk to me real quick? Yeah. Or you don't leave the door. Leave the door. We need all of you guys out here. Have a seat, please. Go ahead and just come over here and have a seat. So you
go ahead and take your hands out of your pockets for me. So.
Alright, how you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Alright. Well, do you guys know why we're here, first of all?
No.
No? Okay. Well, the reason why we're here is we got a call odor marijuana. You guys haven't been smoking anything, have you? No. Alright. Well, would you guys object to me go ahead and search the room?
It's like coffee grinds in here.
Does it smell like coffee grinds?
I don't know what it is though.
Either you guys can be honest, tell me whose it is, or your buddies are gonna get fired with it.
Wow, Grayson, this is a really, really interesting piece. Now, I'm curious, were students open about talking about marijuana use, or were there privacy concerns?
I think there are always privacy concerns, but students were surprisingly open and wanted to talk to me. I think they were really interested in sharing their side of the story.
Yeah, it makes for great reporting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the most difficult part of putting this together?
I think negotiating access with the IU police was really difficult. They were super interested in having me around, but there's always issues with scheduling, and they work really different shifts, so it was hard to get that together.
Great, and where can we see the rest of this?
You can see it on iustv.com.
Perfect, thank you so much. Well, I know I'm looking forward to spring break, but I'm not sure that everyone would agree. Some international students who can't or don't want to travel say the university's plan for them during break is just not convenient. HNS reporter Maddie Stevens explains.
Indiana University requires all international students to leave the dorms for every break. Several international students living in the residence halls are curious as to why Indiana University requires all students to live outside the dorm during break. IUS-TV News spoke with a few students, both of which live on campus in Rose Residence Hall, Juno Huang and Jason Ding.
I think it's pretty inconvenient. I mean, we're kind of international students, we'll have nowhere to go, and going outside is kind of expensive. And yeah, I think we should better stay here.
Indiana University does have an alternative option for students staying in Bloomington over break. Students have the option to live in Eigenmann, an alternative residence hall on campus. However, they are required to pay $100. Jason Ding believes traveling the United States is more beneficial than staying in the dorms.
Personally, I think this is maybe the good idea for us, to travel all across the United States. But actually, for my family, they think we need to spend the fortune to travel the United States, except just stay in the dorm and starting the whole break and prepare for next semester.
Traveling the United States gives international students the opportunity to have unforgettable experiences and also explore places other than the city of Bloomington itself. The United States is full of numerous tourist attractions that will give international students the greatest use of their experience while in the States. For IUS TV, I'm Maddie Stevens.
All dorms except Eigenmann Hall will close at 10 a.m. this Saturday and will reopen March the 22nd.
Wow, I didn't realize they had to pay that much to stay on campus.
Right, that's incredibly inconvenient.
Yeah. Well, Little Five is fast approaching, and Meredith, I think you might be excited for this one. IU's Union Board announced last week that this year's concert headliner will be no other than Big Sean. The concert will feature special guests like YG, Luke Christopher, and Justine Skye. I'm not sure who they are. Tickets go on sale this Thursday at 10 a.m.
I know people are really excited about this, but I can't name any of those artists.
Neither can I. I mean, Big Sean is good, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we have for you this week on Hoosier News Source. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at Hoosier NW Source and like us on Facebook at IUSTV News and for even more campus and local news. You can also get full IUSTV coverage by going to our website, iustv.com.
From all of us here at IUSTV News, thanks for watching and have a safe and fun spring break.
I wish I was a Big Sean. My roommates were